Welcome to our Mastermind call with the Renegades team, where we'll share the secrets to real estate success. Let's jump right in and turn your real estate dreams into a reality.
Today, this is a whole series that we're doing. It's like 12-week series. And we've been talking. Week one, we spoke about becoming the best version of yourself. Last week, we talked about what did we talk about, Terry?
Remember, I wasn't there last week. I was sick
Oh,
last week.
let me tell you what we talked
I was
about.
actually going to depend on you to recap that. I even have it in my notes.
Okay,
Tim's going to
so
have to recap last
last
week.
week, yeah, last week we talked about the importance of role playing your listing appointment and your buyer consult. Most of us as agents will role play our phone dialogue, but never practice an actual listing appointment. So I talked about the importance of role playing or practicing your actual listing appointment or buyer consultation weekly. And then I also talked about how I myself, every time I leave a listing appointment, whether I get the listing or I don't, I am always jotting down notes and critiquing myself to get better and better and better. And I think that's, if we think of a pro athlete, they are practicing for game day and they are watching game tape to critique how they're doing and what they could have done better. And we as agents, we're just like we're not practicing for game day. Um, so that's what we talked about last week. And then today I was just going to talk about seller leads and positioning yourself as a listing specialist in the market. Um, I know that a lot of people out. Oh, Justin's back on. I haven't seen you for a while, man.
You don't see him now either.
No,
He
I
doesn't
know.
see me either, but he doesn't say hi to his own partner.
And there's
Justin's been out for a while.
Jordan.
Hi, Terry.
Hey,
Stra What's up, stranger?
I know. I feel like I moved away and then everybody's new now.
Yeah, where have you been?
Well, last week I was sick and then, the holidays and all the things. And so now
You
I'm back
you
full
look really
force.
nice.
Thank you. Isn't it funny?
Yeah.
The ones that know me best, they're giving that little nice compliment, but I can hear it in there going, because that's not normal.
That's what I
I,
said too. I was like, man,
Because
you're looking good, man.
Ben
Looking
said,
good,
you're
looking
dressed up
good.
today. And I
you
laughed. I
dressed
said,
up.
yeah, because that's two reasons. I either had a new client or a closing, because otherwise you get yoga pants, no makeup, and hair pulled up.
Basically.
Every
Um,
time, no, Mustafa Ben, he sends me messages saying, you don't look like any of your pictures today. I'm like, thanks. Whenever I show up with no
You weren't
makeup,
supposed to tell him that.
he'll go, like, he goes, every time I see you, you don't look like the same person. I said, it's called hair and it's called makeup, Mustafa.
all right, so I'm gonna recap. Justin and Jordan, I appreciate both of you being here. We're a little light on our group today, or a lot light on our group, but I want to make sure that since you showed up, that you get a ton of value. This is a 12-week series. We're on week 3 of the series. The first week we talked about being the best version of yourself and becoming the best version of yourself and really striving towards personal growth, because to be a strong listing agent, you have to possess a lot of confidence. You really have to be at the top of your game. The way that you show up to that listing appointment is everything. And when you're doing the morning activities, when you're taking care of yourself spiritually, emotionally,
Mm,
physically,
mm.
your mental diet. We talked about all of those different things on week 1. I believe that there's replays of these if you ever want to if you ever want them, let me know. I'll try and grab a replay for you. I think I have the replays actually. Last week we spoke about the importance of practicing and role playing your listing appointment and how none of the agents that I know out there are actually practicing their listing appointment. They're practicing their script and dialogue for phone conversations to get to the listing appointment, but they're not actually sitting down and running through that listing appointment with a family member, coworker, friend. And we talked about the value of that and, how athletes will train. It's funny, I saw a clip yesterday. It was about an Olympic gold winner he was some kind of runner, and he talked about, I trained for 4 years for a 2-minute activity,
Mhm.
and people want results in like 30 days. Like, you got to be in it for the long haul. But the way that relates to this is he trained 4 entire years for 2 minutes of his life, but he won the gold and brought the gold home. So we need to be practicing our listing appointment and also our buyer consultation. We need to be sitting down weekly and running those through so that we can be at our very best when we actually walk into the appointment when it's game time. We also talked about last week the importance of critiquing yourself after each appointment. You'll notice, NFL, they'll watch game tape over and over and over and over again to critique their performance and what they could have done better. So I suggested bringing a journal with you, keeping it in your car, and using that journal to jot down a few notes of things that you could do better on that next appointment. So this is all about listing domination and how to list and sell over 60 homes a year. This year, I myself am gunning for 100 listings sold personally, not including the team. And these are things that I am doing. So I'm sharing things with you that I've done in the past and continue to do, or things that I'm incorporating into my plan to hit that goal of 100 listings sold.
I'm glad that you're going to break all of this down, because especially, where you are a very seasoned agent. You've got your systems and your processes, and you can probably do this in your sleep. You've got a extremely high but attainable goal for you. And then we have other agents here that they may do a mix of listings and a mix of buyers. So they may feel super comfortable on the buyer side, but not so much on the listing side. And being able to listen to you and break that down, such as myself, you would think, having sold as much as I do in a particular year, that I would have a full-blown listing presentation. However, I deal with a lot of new construction, and I deal with a lot of buyers, and the other listings that come my way, they happen to be those that will say maybe a past client, or they already know when I'm just going to look at the house to list. So I have as much experience sitting down and trying to win that listing. So that's what I'm anxious to hear today, and I'm excited to learn.
Yeah. Yeah. So today we're gonna talk about how to position yourself as a listing specialist. Who here is anyone willing, and I don't know what the share settings are, is anyone willing to share their Zillow or Realtor.com bio? Just to see.
I'll do it.
Okay.
I'm over here trying to think, do I have it filled out?
What? I don't want to
And the
hear
funny
that.
thing to kind of piggyback on what
Don't say that.
I know. I know. Well, I just need to let everybody know that we're real here and that they're not alone if they don't think that they have their life together.
I think I have my stuff up. I thought I had a listing presentation until I saw Mustafa's or what you guys do. So I thought I had one. Let's see my bios up here. Where the hell? I'll use my Zillow one. That's actually a lot better. Um, who's it? Oh, let's see. Hmm. Apologies, I don't know what's going on. It's a little slower right now.
There we go. Okay.
All right.
All right. Let's read the about us.
There you go. That's it.
Okay. Okay. Do you want to work with buyers or do you want to work with sellers?
Sellers more than anything. I will do buyers, but I'll do buyers or concierge, pick
Okay.
and choose.
I'm gonna share some things with you. So I just Googled Lang Estates. Um if you look at our internet presence, the number one site that pops up is called MichiganHomeSellers.com.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna click on the About Us.
Hmm.
So I just want to highlight a couple areas. We're your one-stop shop. We offer instant cash offers, short sale solutions, fix and list. Our team is dedicated. And then I'm going to show you the Zillow. I'm going to show you some other things too here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's look at the realtor.com profile. Let's go to a different one.
Mm-hmm.
Zillow. So I'm speaking to sellers in everything on here. Um, Multiple selling solutions. My point
Mm-hmm.
is, I want all of your bios and all of your content that you're putting out to be specifically speaking to sellers. If
Right.
you want to work with sellers, then your bio should be speaking to sellers. Um, because we've moved into the team, we've changed it up a little bit, but I would suggest writing your bios to immediately speak to sellers. So every bio that you have on realtor.com, Zillow, your website, everything, if you want to focus on working with sellers, do you think it would be advantageous to have your buyer speak to sellers
Mm-hmm.
so that they know that you specialize in working with sellers? Now, who here is putting out content, video content, or posting on social media? What's the ratio of your content that is directed to buyers versus the content that is directed to sellers?
I don't have that number. It tends to be for me um, ad hoc, meaning like I have a good amount of listings now, and I have some of my agents doing opens. So you're seeing a lot of that. Now I mix it with personal stuff just because that gets a lot more clicks. So
Mhm.
seemingly you know, like I have a book that I just did. So I put a content out for that and I got good hits when it came to that. But when I put something out, Christmas, my mother just turned 94. I got 100 and something, blah, 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 billion things. So that's kind of where I'm kind of having a problem with. I don't know if this is a sidebar, but it's like I put content out and it looks good, it looks nice, but then I put the freaking juice that I drank this morning, I get 40 times more hits or likes. So, I don't know if, like
Well,
I said, I might be getting off a tangent, but
if you want to dominate listings and you want to be a listing specialist and you want people to view you as the listing guy or the listing specialist in your
Mhm.
area, all of your bios need to speak to sellers. A large majority of the how-to videos, that educational content that you're making for people, you should
Mm,
be speaking to sellers.
mm,
So when someone Googles you after they have a conversation with you and they're looking at your social media platforms, they're looking at your bio on realtor.com, on Zillow, it all is all congruent in saying that you are a listing specialist.
okay.
Do you see the
So,
power
yes,
in
I do.
that? Yeah. Okay.
Yes. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean the money's in the niche, right? So I
Hmm.
could be a master at one thing or a master of nothing.
Hmm.
I'd rather pick one thing and be a master at it. So for me, I decided a long time ago I'm going to be a listing specialist. That's going to be my specialty. That's how I'm going to brand myself as the listing specialist. Now, this year I'm going on recruiting. I'm recruiting very heavily. So now all of my content is directed towards agents. All of my how-to and educational content is directed towards agents now.
And
Where
it's funny, I haven't broken that. It's so simple what you're saying. And it's so funny how most of what we do is very basic. We just have to do the basics very well, like we said many times. But just what you're saying there, as far as changing my mindset of my target audience, because when I put content out, I'm putting the, you know, buyers, sellers, investors, commercial
Mm,
property, who wants to buy land, everything. So someone would look at me and say, well, she's a jack of all trades. What does she do well?
yeah.
mm,
No different. What just clicked in my mind, that's no different than when we go to our doctor and he's a doctor and he does a lot of things well and he has a broad knowledge base. So we can all do something, but what do we do well? Well, if something specific is wrong with you, what's the first thing he tells you to do? Go see a specialist.
mm.
Who gets paid way more money? The general practitioner? The general practitioner or the specialist,
Yeah.
Specialist.
right? So it doesn't have to be listings. I mean, that's what I'm talking about today, but we've done masterminds here before where people specialized in working with first responders or people specialized in I don't know. We've had some Terry. I remember one mastermind we had. We had someone that specialized in like elderly, uh,
Mm,
more like assisted living, and they had
Yes.
like a lot of relationships with assisted living
Yeah.
facilities.
She's
And
a nurse and she has a family connection as to why that became important to her. So she started working with the assisted living, and that's where her heart is, and that's where her focus is. And pretty much anyone in her area if they're going to want one of their loved ones taken care of, she's their go-to.
Yeah, so she created that. Perception is reality. So that's why I'm telling you, if you want to be a listing specialist, I would go back and revise your bio. I mean, we have a couple different so our main website is michiganhomesellers.com. Our second main website is Speedy Cash Offer or speedycashhomeoffer.com. Like we're targeting sellers. And specifically for us, if the bios that we just read talk about we are the one-stop shop, we will offer you an instant cash offer, we'll offer you a traditional list, we offer a fix and list program, we offer short sale solutions. So we've taken it one step further where now we're just not a listing specialist, but we are what we call ourselves an owner advocate, where instead of calling an investor out to visit your home, instead of calling uh, a traditional listing agent and a cash investor and someone that specializes in bridge loans and one of those companies that will help you do a fix and list program, you can call one person and have one appointment, and I can outline all of those options for you in that same appointment. And that's what has been powerful for us. So I'm not saying that you need to do the same thing, but I would pick something where you separate yourself from from all of the other realtors out there. And for
Right.
me, that's what I found works for us. In fact, Mustafa will book quite a few appointments where they want the cash offer option, they want the traditional list option, and they may want the fix and list option or short sale. And they love that it's just me. They don't have to meet with four different people to solve the problem or see what each scenario would look like for them. You got what questions do you have so far before I get into other stuff?
No, it's just the aha moment. I
Okay.
was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Why don't you just focus on the future anyway? How about that?
Focus on
Instead of later.
something that will separate you from the competition.
Yeah.
What's your 30-second elevator pitch? Mine is just what I said. Instead of
Right.
calling five different people out to give you five different options, selling options, it's a one-stop shop. I'll come out, I'll spend 2 hours with you, and I'll put all five options in front of you. I'll outline it on paper, show you what that would look like for you. And at the end of 2 hours, you'll have all five options right in front of you. Does anyone else have their elevator pitch? No.
No.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, not that. What my elevator pitch doesn't sound like that, but I hear you.
Yeah. Okay. So I would work on your elevator pitch. I mean, our society, our attention span is very short, right? So you need to convey what sets you apart from every other realtor in your market within 30 seconds.
Mhm.
So I would work on that. This is something that I really want you to remember. Listings beget listings. I'll give you an example. There was a listing that I had, I think it was July, maybe August. It was $1 million listing. And at the open house, a gentleman walked in and he said, I've been watching this since, because we pre-marketed it for 4 days before it went live, before the day of the open house. Said, I've been watching it, and we had like 30 people in the open house at that time. And he's like, I specifically came here today because I want you to list my house. I live about 4 blocks away. So from that first $1 million listing came another listing at 900,000. Now we had multiple offers on that property and I flipped it to a pending status within 4 days after that first open house. So a couple days later, I got a phone call from another neighbor that was 1 block away. And he said, I thought you priced that house too high. I never thought it was going to sell. I see now that it's pending. When can you come to my house and list my house?
You made everybody want to move.
So that one listing brought two more listings that were 900,000 each.
Hmm.
So 1.8 times 3%, that's nearly 60,000 from the first listing, which sold a little over 1 million. So prospecting to get that first listing put $90,000 of GCI in my pocket. That's what I mean when I say listings beget listings. But there's other things that we should be doing, like just listed postcards, just sold postcards. We do that for every listing because we know that when one person in the neighborhood lists their home, it is almost a guarantee that 2 more neighbors will end up listing in the next 90 days. Do you guys know that?
Yeah, that makes a lot of
It's like the
sense.
law. It's a law of nature. I don't know what it is. When one person goes up, we know that 2 more in that neighborhood are going to go up in the next 90 days. So why are we not marketing when we are the first listing to go up in the neighborhood?
Right. We have that geo farming, don't we?
We do. Yep, we have geoforming.
Oh, wow.
The
Okay,
other
so I'm gonna
thing,
need that on my listings. I've got like 6 and 2 that I can't seem to sell, so I need to start
yeah, the
creating
other
marketing
thing,
these
That's a good
neighborhoods.
point.
I
Yeah.
think a lot of people will look at open houses as a great source for buyers, which they are, but we've listed several neighbors as a result of our open house. And one of the ways that we do that is we do what's called the 10-10-20 rule. Is anyone familiar with the 10-10-20 rule? So
Mm.
you will knock before the open house. You'll have 40 flyers with you. You'll knock 10 doors to the left, 10 doors to the right, and 20 across the street and personally invite them because we know that all the neighbors want to see that inside of that house. They've been dying to see the inside of that house for how long?
Can
So
you
when
say
you,
that again? I heard that before. 10-10 what?
it's 10-10-20, so it's
Yep.
10 doors to the left, 10 doors
Mm.
to the right, and 20 across the street for a total of 40 houses,
Yep.
40 neighbors. The scripting is very simple. Good morning. I just wanted to let you know, my name is Ben. Wanted to let you know that we're holding your neighbor's house open today from noon to 2. I wanted to personally invite you. While I'm here, who do you know that might be thinking about selling in the neighborhood? Do you know any of your friends or family members that would like to live in this neighborhood? That's why I really want you to stop by. We found that many times one of the neighbors will have a family member or a friend who's been coming to your house for several years, and they've been dying to get in this neighborhood. So we'd love to see you. We've got, water, we've got hors d'oeuvres. Please stop by. And then before you go, who do you know? This is the most important part about the scripting. Who do you know that might be considering selling in this neighborhood?
Mm.
Now, what that does is it triggers them to think of themselves more times than not.
Hmm.
So we need to leverage our listings. That's the 10-10-20 rule. That is just listed postcards. That is just sold postcards. we need to let everyone in that neighborhood know, especially if we hit a home run, if we sell it in a matter of days, higher than asking price, every single neighbor needs to know that. Because what did we say earlier? We know that 2 of the neighbors are going to list in the next 90 days.
Yes.
Now, as far as lead sources, there are some creative lead sources. We purchase distressed seller leads, which is just data, no opt-ins, but absentee owners, probate, divorce, high equity. We purchase those lists for a pretty nominal amount, and then we market to them and call them. Ren has a phenomenal deal with ZBuyer. We closed quite a few ZBuyer leads last year. The benefit of a ZBuyer lead is that it's a cash offer lead. We target pretty much everything that is cash offer, people that want a cash offer or think that they want a cash offer, because 9 times out of 10, they don't want to go with the cash offer option. But that's what brought them in. And we know because they wanted a cash offer that oftentimes they are very motivated to sell. So we focus on cash offer leads for that reason. Now you might be asking, well, what if I can't give them a cash offer? There are a million companies. EXP has a program. If you have a deal, like a true deal, someone that's willing to sell for 60% of the home's value, there are a million people who want to buy that. If you can't find one, I'll find one for you. But EXP has a program. They'll get you a cash offer, no problem. They have like a huge pool of investors. Most likely in your local market, there's a Facebook group or more than one Facebook group of local investors who are constantly looking for deals. But cash offer leads specifically are typically highly motivated. So if we think about our funnel, top of funnel, those are more your home valuation leads. The bottom of the funnel, ready to transact sooner rather than later, are your cash offer leads. Does that make sense?
That was always my question whenever we have discussed that in the past. Well, how am I going to give them a cash offer if I don't have the cash?
If you
No.
have a deal, there are probably 1,000 people. If you have a deal, there's more than 1,000 people who want to buy it.
So just so I understand, what you're saying is, are you marketing that cash offer first, like putting that on the front end? So if they choose to say yes, I'll take take that on the front end, they can also go traditional on the back end.
Correct. So Mustafa will book several appointments for me where they say, I just want the cash offer. I just want the cash offer. I get to their house and I sit down and chat with them for about 20 minutes. And after asking a series of questions, which I shared a couple weeks ago, I'm more than happy to share that list of questions again. But by the time I go through my list of questions with them, we determine that they do not want a cash offer. Cash offer is generally going to be 60% of the home's value, because your cash offer is coming from an investor who wants to make a profit. So they are giving away the profit. So if they still want to explore that, I have a legal pad with me at all times, and I will generate an instant cash offer for them on the spot and also do a net sheet for them and show them and handwrite it on paper. Here's what you will walk away with if you decide that you want to go the cash offer scenario. Here is what you will put in your pocket if we do the traditional list. And people love the options. It's literally 1 out of 20 will actually take that cash offer option. They don't realize, they just think someone's going to pay cash, quick close at retail value until I explain to them that the investor, whether it's myself or one of my investors, we need to make a profit. We're taking a huge risk in the market. We're spending 2 months on a renovation, managing contractors. There's a lot of time and effort and risk, so there has to be a profit, and they get it. It makes sense to them. People understand. But the cash offer route is a great way to get your foot in the door.
Mhm.
What questions do you have?
Do you have that list of questions?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One of the questions on that list, and the best way to figure out if a cash offer is going to be good for them, the question is, what is most important to you? Price, timing, or convenience, or which combination of those three? If they say price, cash offer is not for them. If they say, convenience and timing, I have to get this closed 10 days from now, and I don't want to show my house. I have 3 dogs. I don't want to go through the hassle. Then cash offer might be a good scenario for them. That one question will give you the answer. You have to dig a little bit more, but most of the time you'll get a pretty good idea of which option is better for them. So to recap, we talked about going out on all of your bios, realtor.com, Zillow, your website, everything, and speak to sellers. Position yourself as the listing expert, as the seller specialist. When someone looks you up online, which they will, you want them to be reading that you are the listing specialist in town. If you want to dominate listings, I'm saying. I think most of our bios talk about us a little too much, right? Because it's all WWFM. What's in it for me? People are concerned about what's in it for them, right? So if you can clearly state we offer, like you saw my bios, it said we offer all these solutions if you're selling.
I like that.
Your content that you're producing and publishing on social media. If you want to dominate listings, I would gear that content towards sellers.
Jordan, we've got some work to do.
Leverage every listing that you have. Remember the 10-10-20 rule. Remember that your open houses are not only an opportunity to meet potential buyers, but there's even a greater opportunity to meet potential sellers. Remember that when one listing goes up, most likely 2 more of those neighbors are going to list in the next 90 days. So how can you leverage the original listing? Just listed postcards, just sold postcards, knocking doors. Um, also, let's talk about service. So I just have a listing and just went up yesterday. I met with the lady. She's 90 years old, needed help, boxes, moving boxes. The house was pretty dirty. It needed to be cleaned. So I went over there personally and paid someone that I know to go with me for 4 hours last Friday. And I moved all those boxes along with a friend.
And it
Then I
looks
paid
absolutely
a
gorgeous. I
then
gotta
I
say so.
paid a professional house cleaner to go over there on Monday and have it professionally cleaned. Then we had the photos that very next day. It went on the market yesterday. So signed documents on Saturday, went there for 4 hours and moved a ton of stuff on Sunday, paid for professional cleaner to be there for 3 hours on Monday, professional photos and video on Tuesday, live to market on Wednesday, sign in the ground. She thinks that I am just the greatest person in the world because most realtors are not going to have, I mean, 4 hours of boxes being moved from house to garage to declutter, 3 hour professional house cleaning. I mean, the referrals are going to be flowing in. Then I sat there and made a video with her. I sent it to Mustafa. Uh, she loved being on video. I did a little selfie video. I was like, hey, I just want to announce our newest listing. I want you to meet Rhonda. Rhonda's super excited. And I asked her what she had to add, and she's like, you're just so professional on the like, here's what you said what was going to happen. I needed to move quickly. And we met on a Saturday and we had everything moved in the house on Sunday. We had it professionally cleaned on Monday. We had the photos and video on Tuesday. We were live to market on Wednesday. So if you treat every seller that you have or every client that you have for that matter as if they are your only client, those referrals start coming in as well. So I would also add, you know, pre-listing services, junk removal, professional house cleaning. We have a 3 hour organizing session with a professional organizer. These are some of the pre-listings. I also have a staging consultation where my stager will go over there for 2 hours and make a customized list for them of where they should move each item in the house to better create spaces, define spaces. So add pre-listing services to your arsenal. It will make you stand out above the rest. What questions do you have for me? Let's get some discussion going here now because we have just a few moments left here. I'd love to have some discussion. What were your big aha moments? What did you learn today? Did you learn anything? What did you get value out of today?
Yeah, I mean, focusing is a big one. Like the fact that you just said, "Hey, just focus on listings," and I was like, "Oh, that makes a lot of sense." Huh?
I said,
Why did
oh,
I? Oh, how about focus on listings? Because if you focus on listings, buyers are going to come too. If you wanted to go that route, and to be
Listings
quite
equal
honest,
leverage, right? We learned a long
if I have a
time ago,
house,
or we should have learned a long time ago that listings equal leverage.
mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard
That
the saying that listers last?
listers last. Yep. If
Listers
you list, you last.
last, listings equal leverage. And I will tell you, let's just take a $500,000 buyer.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that you have to show them 20 homes and you have to write 5 offers before you get one accepted.
Yeah, how
How
about that?
much time with drive time and writing offers do you have into that?
Too damn much.
30, 40 hours, 50 hours,
You don't remind me.
50 hours. So I can sign a $500,000 listing, same commission on both. Now I have support staff. So the typical time, my personal time, with the exclusion of me going and moving boxes for 4 hours, which is not super typical, but on an average, I'm spending 5 hours. My support staff is dealing with the rest. So same commission for that $500,000 buyer, it's $15,000 commission. It could be 30, 40, 50 hours. Let's say it's 50, so that's $300 per hour.
Mm.
Then you take my scenario where I have a $500,000 listing, $15,000, and I put 5 hours into it. So that's a $500 per hour value or $3,000 per hour. Which would you rather that your hourly rate be?
Mm.
Have you ever taken the time to think about that and break that down? Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
I see the wheels spinning, man.
I like that it's as easy as changing in your mindset. You know,
Mm.
we're our mindset is, sell, sell, sell. I need more deals. I need more deals. And this time of year, if you maybe are slower than you were before, your mindset may be, I don't care where the deal comes from, I just need a deal. However, if you take it down to that specialization, it actually will hit all those others, but you're telling people what you're an expert in. So that's who you want to draw in. You'll take the other, but this is what I want. This is what I'm good at.
Yeah, I mean it's the other thing to remember too is it I mean I don't know. I suppose it's possible, but um I don't think it's humanly possible for me to close 100 buyers in a year. I just don't think it's I don't think it's humanly possible. But I could close 100 listings in a year. So if you want to up your volume, if you want to have more time with your family,
Mm.
listings is a good way to go for that as well. The other thing about buyers is you are on call, right? Like you could have dinner plans for the evening and then you get a text from your buyer and they say, "This house just popped up. I need to go see it tonight." And it's almost like you're on call. That's what I don't specifically like about working with buyers is I feel like I'm on call when I'm working with buyers. When you have listings, like you just know this is my schedule. I'm not going to get like an emergency phone call where I have to go out that evening. I might get the emergency phone call. This agent just showed the house and they left mud tracks all over, and I might get that call, but I'm not going to get, I need you to come get in your car and meet me this evening.
Or you're not going to drive an hour away, even after you've gotten them pre-qualified with the lender and had them narrow down their price range, show them 8 houses, only to find out when you get back that they have said, well, we might need to lower that price range just a little bit. Now we're starting from square one.
Yeah. Also with listings, you don't get where you have, an exclusive agreement signed and then you get a phone call one day that says they drove past a for sale by owner and decided to stop by that day and ended up buying it. That doesn't happen with listings either.
Mm.
You
So
see an
there's a,
agent posting it just sold with my client, you're like, that's where they went. They ghosted me. after I spent 2 months with these people.
Yeah. So those are all the reasons in my mind to be a listing specialist. It just makes a lot more sense. Jordan, you've been pretty quiet. What questions do you have?
I can't think of any at the moment. Just
No?
listening.
Any big
Lot
aha
of good
moments?
info.
Any big aha moments from the day?
Yeah, the bio thing. I think my bio is just about me because I thought it was supposed to be about me. um, yeah, doing all the different things when you have a listing, that's such a great opportunity to get more business that I definitely have not been doing. I've never, thought about all those things that you suggested
Awesome. Time to put
and
them
how
all
to
into action.
differentiate. Yeah, definitely need to
Yeah.
take some action.
Awesome. Alan, did you pick up anything good today?
Yeah. I hate to kind of beating a dead horse, but yeah, the kind of the same thing. I haven't even thought about my bio for like a year. So going to be redoing those. And yeah, I'm actually going to reevaluate how I'm pulling my leads. And yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's
And I think the elevator pitch too, that jumped
yeah,
out at me.
yeah, have
I
that
mean, I
solid
had
elevator.
one, but like for a seller, it wouldn't be compelling. Also, then as I've been fairly successful in the last couple month or so as far as listings. So I'm putting like maybe 2, 3 up this week.
Nice.
So which allows me to think and thank you, Mustafa. So he's been a huge part of that, honestly.
Ooh, I love
So
So
hearing
proud of you, Justin. I love it, man. I gotta give you,
mhm.
man, you're my man.
Yeah, thank you. Piece of that is, oh, I thought I had a listing presentation until I saw Mustafa's. I didn't really
Did
have
you
a
show
listing presentation.
did you show Mars? Yeah. Okay.
And I was like, oh, I don't have
I
a listing
did.
presentation. I don't. I really don't. I have like a, little cliff note sheet. That's what I really had,
Yeah.
and then I don't have data. I thought I had data. I don't have data, so I got to really step it up totally, you know. So any movement in that direction, I'm totally all on board. Like I said, but the little bit I picked up has been a benefit. So, um,
Cool.
yeah. So yeah, I
Good.
just, it's perfect. What you're saying is, if you're trying to do listings, then do listings
Yeah.
and really get into it and really become a connoisseur of it. So where
Yeah.
if you walk in front of someone, you're confused that they don't. Why wouldn't they do business with you? Like you almost gotta, you know, be surprised if you would do business with you. And I think that's an
No,
honest answer.
100%. 100%.
Would you do business with you?
You just hit the nail on the head right there. Just hit the nail on the head. Maddie, you've been pretty quiet. Are you on? Maddie? Madeline?
She might answer the matter.
All right. Well, hey, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. And it's every Thursday. If you guys want the ebook, I put it in the chat.
Oh wow. Okay, good.
I wrote I think it's 54 page ebook. You can grab it for free just by going to this site.
Is that the listing domination or is that the Isaiah Colton Renegade
It's
homepage?
the listingdomination.co.
Got it.
So
Got it.
I put a lot of time and a lot of effort into it. I think will be a great value add for you. It will talk about everything that we're talking about in this series right now. And don't forget to join us next Thursday at 1 o'clock. We're going to continue this series about listing domination and dive deeper and deeper in the coming weeks.
And bring your friends and family to this too.
Bring your
love-
friends and family.
And cousins and relatives and everybody. We love to see a lot of people. But no, Justin, you know why I do real well on the phone is because of him. No joke. Well, he
Got
just
it.
dropped in there. I do what I do because of Ben.
My man. Well, thank you. Hey,
It was awesome.
Take care of everyone. We'll see you next week.
enjoy.